Hey, this is Kristen with Collision Hub, and we are back on the NACE floor for NACE 2011 in Orlando, and you cannot talk collision repair without talking 3M. From just about every aspect and stage within the repair of the vehicle, 3M's got a product and a service that's there to help the repairs. We wanted to stop by and visit. Dennis Povio has joined us to chat a little bit about what 3M's brought to the show. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Let's talk a little bit about, there's a new push in the industry. So it's all about reducing cycle time, it's about reducing materials, and it's coming on both ends, from the insurers and the shops. What are some of the ways 3M's kind of meeting that need right now?
We're seeing is the shop owners are becoming a lot more sophisticated in their business. And what they're doing is they're implementing SOPs, help streamlining their process, and what that'll do is reduce cost and improve productivity.
Now what 3M came in to do to help that, so the shops knew that they needed the SOPs, they knew they needed some procedures, so you guys totally revamped the website, the 3M Collision Shop website that gives those shops those SOPs and repair procedures.
Absolutely. Any customer can go right to the website, they can go into one of the categories to SOPs, they can watch videos, they can download step-by-step procedures, and also at the end they can take a test and get a certificate. And if they need be, they can retrain their technicians and then get another certificate on top of that.
Oh, that's great. So the shop can then compile those certificates, so when those DRP, those insurer partners are coming in and asking, what are you doing to maintain and sustain your education in the industry? Those tools are right there, those certifications are right there.
Absolutely. And as sophisticated as the industry's gotten, it's very important for them to look at those procedures, identify what types of metals that they're working on. That way they can easily streamline their products. So they're using what they need and cutting out waste.
I think it's so great. I think what I thought I knew about repairing bumpers even 2 years ago has even changed now.
Yeah.
So even something as simple as revisiting your plastic repairs, things you thought you know, it's time to brush up a little bit.
Yeah, continual training is key. The way this industry is changing, the way the automobiles are changing, the different materials, it's always good. And with us and ICAR, we're always having continuing training for the technicians in the shop.
Now you guys have brought some of the best tools. There's been, last year I kind of considered it, 3M's an innovation company, but last year you guys really rolled out a lot of tools that really helped the shops, and you've got them all here with you for the shops to talk about and ask questions and touch and feel. But let's kind of go through a list.
Okay.
So the DMS, the dynamic mixing system,
Yes.
completely really changed the way I fix dents and really cut down on my waste factor in filler. So let's go a little bit into the DMS.
Well, absolutely. The DMS is basically filler on demand. It takes out the guesswork of how to mix filler. The hardener and the filler is mixed right there. You can apply it right to the vehicle. It's taking out that extra step of having to put it on a Bondo board, mix it up, and apply it to the panel. They can go right to the panel and apply it. Also, by doing that, it's eliminating pinholes, so there's no air inside of the cartridges.
Right, and I think that's what's great is that even if I was lucky enough to go to my mixing board, which I had a piece of cardboard I'd taken off like a hood box, and I mix it up, and I maybe got the right amount. So either I mixed too much or I mixed too little, and I was walking back. But then with the pinhole issue, I was refilling again.
Absolutely.
And then so I was fixing that dent sometimes twice. And this, really, whenever I want it, all throughout the day, I go and pull the trigger, and I've got the perfect mix every time and the perfect amount.
Absolutely, takes the guesswork out of it. The other thing it does is you can have this right in your stall. A lot of shops today will have a Bondo section where the technician is working on the vehicle. He'll have to stop what he's doing, walk over to the Bondo area, mix his Bondo, and come back. With this gun, it's right there on demand. It takes the walking distance out, it takes that lost time, so he's right there working on the vehicle.
I just love this tool, and you guys keep adding products to the product line for it. I can't wait to see what's coming out next.
Yeah.
Now, one of the other tools that you brought that I love is the new AccuSpray.
Yes.
So with the new, the 6H rules and VOCs and shops trying to figure out what can I still do in the booth and not, or in the stall, not have to go to the booth, the AccuSpray's really helped dial down my primer. It's been a great tool.
Absolutely. The introduction to this was really big, because a lot of times what you find in a body shop, a primer gun is the last gun. It's usually an old base coat gun that a painter retires and says, oh, I'll use it for primer. What happens in that case, it's usually a 1.3 nozzle, maybe a 1.4 nozzle, so it doesn't atomize the primer the way that it should. The introduction with the AccuSpray gun, it's a 1.8 nozzle. Its unique part about it is that it's disposable. They'll get about 10 to 15 uses out of it, and it'll atomize the primer, and so it lays out on the panel nice and flat, so it's easier for the sand. Where in the past, if they were using a 1.3 nozzle, it's not it's not going to atomize the primer as well as a 1.8 nozzle well.
Right. And so a couple of great things that I noticed about it right away was, one, the disposable feature.
Yes.
So I was getting better coverage with less product.
Yes.
And epoxy primer is very expensive.
Yes.
So being able to use less of it was great. But then I also wasn't losing a lot of time cleaning and rinsing and cleaning and rinsing, trying to keep saving that head, because I knew I'd pop it off and pop a new one on.
Yeah.
So I gained a lot of cycle time in just the primer process alone.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other unique thing about this is it's like having a brand new primer gun every single time. You use it, once you get it to its maximum usage, you toss it, you put a brand new one on. You don't even have to clean it, so it takes out that step too.
Right. It's exciting to see Bodyman excited about that process in the repair.
Yeah.
We still have a lot of Bodymen going to Prime, and so for them to get to feel like they've got their own little gun, it makes them really happy. So it looks like you guys have got a whole suite of stuff. It's definitely something that if you're coming out to NACE, you want to stop by and see the booth. They're going to be here through Saturday. Also, we're going to catch up with you a little later on in the year as well.
Okay.
And there's a couple of classes coming up, so don't miss 3M today at 1 o'clock on the stage. We're going to go Repair University Live. And then they're going to be back periodically on Collision Up TV talking about a lot more of these products in depth. So we're going to go through them in more detail and then tell you exactly how you would implement them in your repair shop to increase your productivity, reduce your cycle time, and make 2012 your best year yet. Thanks.